Coming to retina, the retina extends from the margin of the optic disc to just behind the ciliary body, where it ends abruptly as a dentated border known as ora serrata. It is organized in 10 layers and contains rods and cones, which are visual receptors. Retina has four types of neurons: bipolar cells, ganglion cells, horizontal cells, and amacrine cells. The rods and cones, which are next to the choroids, synapse with bipolar cells, and the bipolar cells synapse ganglion cells. The axons of ganglion cells converge and leave the eye as an optic nerve. Horizontal cells connect the receptors cells to the other receptor cells in the outer plexiform layer. Amacrine cells connect ganglion cells to the another cell in the inner plexiform layer via processes of varying length and patterns. The neural elements of retina are bound together by glial cells, which are called as Muller cells. The processes of these cells form an internal limiting membrane on inner surface of the retina and an external limiting membrane in the receptor layer. Optical nerve leaves retina from the optic disc, which lies 3 mm medial to and slightly above the posterior pole. So these are the 10 layers of retina, which starts from pigment epithelium, then a photoreceptor layer, outer limiting membrane, outer nuclear layer, which are are made up of rods and cones, and outer plexiform layer, then inner nuclear layer, which are made up of bipolar, amacrine, and horizontal cells, then inner plexiform, and ganglion cell layer, which are made up of again ganglion cells. Then you have nerve fiber and inner limiting membrane. Fundus oculi or fundus. The posterior part of the interior of the eyeball is called as fundus oculi or fundus. The fundus can be examined by ophthalmoscope. The fundus has two important structures, that is optic disc or blind spot. It is situated near the center of the posterior wall of the eyeball. Optic disc is formed by the convergence of axons from ganglion cells. It contains all the layers of retina except rods and cones. Therefore, it is insensitive to light. That is, object is not seen if image falls on this area. Because of this, optic disc is known as blind spot. Macula lutea or yellow spot. Near the posterior pole of the eye is yellowish pigmented spot called as macula lutea, which measures around 5.5 millimeters in diameter. The central 1.5 millimeter of the macula is termed as fovea, which has a small central depression called foveola. The fovea is the region of greatest acuity of vision, as it contains only cones, and each cone directly relay on single cone, and wide presentation in occipital primary visual area, and all the layers of retina are shifted aside, leaving cones to be hit directly by the